Oluwole Osaze-Uzzi joins us now. He is Director of Virtual Education at INEC, and that's what we're sinking our teeth into, preparations towards the 2019 elections. How is it going? Well, Dr. Oluwole, you're welcome to...
Mr. Good morning, thank you.
Beg your pardon.
Okay.
Mr. Uzzi, welcome to Sunrise Daily. The headlines are washed this morning. We can see INEC National Assembly set for showdown over election sequence is one of them. INEC is going to stick to its guns for the 2019 elections. We're beginning to see more and more of that. What precisely has informed this particular story? Because it seems to be emanating from the press briefing, the quarterly briefing interaction that the INEC chair had with journalists. Has it been misinterpreted?
Well, good morning and thank you for having me. We don't control what the editors put on their headlines. But if you were to look at the body of the story, I think it will unfold. And basically it's this. The law as it stands is that INEC has the power to fix election timetables. It's a power that's been given to it by the Constitution. And acting in accordance with that power, INEC went ahead and fixed the dates for the elections. For whatever reasons, the National Assembly has been given responsibility to make laws for the land. And they feel they have a power to make laws, including the power to as it were, fix a sequence of elections. So they've gone ahead to do that. But the law they have made is inchoate because it doesn't, lawmaking relies not only on the National Assembly but also on the assent of the President. So until the President assents to that amended bill, it does not become law. So we must work with the extant law, and the extant law still exclusively reserves that power and that function to the Commission, and it has fixed that date. We cannot anticipate what the President will do. The President may give his assent, he may withhold his assent. If he does that, then it will probably is a question of whether the National Assembly can override his veto powers or if he does not give his assent. So it's presumptive and it's speculative to say that there will be a showdown, as referring to the headline you referred to, because the law as it stands is what INEC is going by. If the law changes, the chairman made that clear. If the law changes, then we'll look at the options. We'll look at if we see that it's in accord with our powers, our responsibilities, then we'll go ahead and comply.
I have always been curious. I've just always been curious as to whether or not it will have a retroactive effect. Because some people will say that INEC has already set the timetable, and INEC should abide by that timetable for 2019. Whatever law is made for now should take effect from the next elections that INEC will undertake.
Yes.
Would you agree with them?
Well, generally the law takes effect from the day it is made. I mean, in democracies we frown at laws that have retroactive effects. So a law comes to effect the day it is made or on such future dates as the lawmakers have set for it. We have fixed the date, that's correct. We have to use the law as at the dates that we act. So if the law comes into effect tomorrow, we'll look at it and look at the provisions. The President can always say, look, I don't like this, I don't like that. Why don't you have a second look at that? The National Assembly will take a second look at it and may decide one way or the other. So saying any other thing now might be a bit speculative. But generally, laws in a democracy do not have retroactive effect.
Mr. Osaze-Uzzi, I want to ask you about, the potential impact of the amendment or the lack of passage of an amendment, depending on what happens on the use of the card reader. We know that in the 2015 general elections, obviously, the use of the card reader was not part of the Electoral Act, and of course, as part of the amendments, it has now been included. In the event that it is not, it is assented or not assented or overridden into effect, what role would the machine play potentially in the 2019 election? If, in the event that INEC wants to challenge this in court?
Well, I don't know whether the Commission will challenge it in court or not. If the law is passed, then we'll refer it to our lawyers who will study it and see what effect it has on our operations. And it's important for us to realize what the Supreme Court said about the card reader. Yes, the card reader is not mentioned specifically in the Electoral Act as it stands, the 2010 amendment as it stands. It says the 2010 amendment recognizes a step-by-step manual guide to accreditation, and proof of accreditation is when you tick the registers, not using a machine. And that's something we should realize. There are many good things we agree entirely, totally 100% with in the Electoral Act bill, the bill seeking to amend the Electoral Act, and it includes the introduction of more technology. So it's a good thing for us.
But I just want to be very clear now. If, for whatever reason, this amendment does not go into effect, can INEC still use the card reader?
Oh, certainly. We will use a card reader. But is the effect of the use of a card reader? You don't use, in legal argument, you don't use it as a sword. The card reader can be used. The Supreme Court never said that it cannot be used. It says, but the yardstick for measuring accreditation is as spelled out in the existing Electoral Act, which is the tick at the register that proves accreditation. But you can use it as a shield. The card reader can still and will still be used. It doesn't ban the use of the card reader. But it just says that procedurally, the card reader complements what exists in the law. It should not contradict it. If there's a difference, a disparity between the figures generated by the card reader and that generated by the manual ticks, then for now, the manual ticks will take precedence.
According to the National Commissioner, the Resident Electoral Commissioner, rather, in Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Mike Igini, yes, since the amendment was not done beyond January 31, 2018, this year, it cannot go into effect, according to his opinion. Now, I want to ask you, is there a cutoff date in the mind of INEC right now about the time at which this needs to be done in order for these things to be taken into effect, particularly when we think of logistics, for example?
We'll have to answer that question. So sorry to interrupt you. I hope you can rephrase it again when we come back from this break. Please stay with us.